Matten had always been the quiet one in his group of friends. He wasn't particularly outgoing, didn't seek attention, and was more than content to remain in the background. Standing at a modest 5 feet 6 inches, with short, dark brown hair and a slim build, he was the type of guy who was easily overlooked in the hallways of college, always blending in. But that didn't bother him. In fact, he liked it that way. He had a close-knit group of friends, 3 girls who he'd known since high school, Sarah, Emily, and Claire. They were like sisters to him, and over the years, they'd formed an unbreakable bond. One sunny afternoon, as the group sat in Claire's living room, sipping on iced tea and laughing over some recent gossip, the conversation took a playful turn. Claire had been telling them about a bachelorette party she'd attended the weekend before, where one of the bridesmaids dared the groom to wear a dress for the night. The girls had burst into fits of laughter just imagining it. That would never happen in real life, Sarah chimed in, rolling her eyes. Most guys wouldn't dare. Emily raised an eyebrow mischievously. I don't know. Matten's different. He's comfortable with us, and I bet he'd be a good sport about it. Right? Matten? Matten looked up from his phone, surprised to be pulled into the conversation. What? He asked, half laughing, unsure of what they were getting at. Oh, nothing, Claire said, her tone dripping with mischief. We were just saying that you're different from most guys. You don't get all macho and weird about stuff. You're, like, open-minded. Matten chuckled nervously. I guess? What does that have to do with anything? Emily grinned, her eyes twinkling. Well, what if we did a little experiment? For fun. We could feminize you. You know, just dress you up, do your makeup, and see what you look like as a girl. Matten's face flushed. What? No way. But the girls weren't deterred. They started egging him on, laughing and playfully teasing him, saying that it would be hilarious and that no one else would ever know. It was all in good fun, after all. Come on, Matten, Sarah said, throwing her arm around his shoulder. It's not like it's permanent or anything. Plus, we'll do it so well that you won't even recognize yourself. Yeah, Claire added, and think of the selfies. You'll be the prettiest girl at the party. Matten hesitated. The idea was absurd, but his friends were having so much fun with it, and part of him didn't want to be the killjoy who ended their fun. Besides, what harm could come from a little dress-up? It was just his close friends, and they always joked around like this. Fine. He finally relented, shaking his head. But only for a little while and no posting pictures online. The girls erupted into cheers, high-fiving each other as if they'd just won a major victory. Oh my god, this is going to be so much fun. Emily squealed. You won't regret this, Matten. Before he knew it, the girls had him seated in front of Claire's vanity mirror. They wasted no time rifling through her makeup stash, pulling out brushes, foundations, eyeshadows, lipsticks, and more. Matten sat there, feeling a mix of nervousness and curiosity, watching as they prepared their tools like artists getting ready to work on a masterpiece. Sarah started with his face, applying foundation and concealer with expert precision. Wow, your skin is so smooth, she commented, blending the product into his complexion. You're going to look amazing. Emily worked on his eyebrows, carefully shaping them with a pencil. You know, if you ever wanted to do this full-time, you'd totally pass, she said, half joking. Matten rolled his eyes but didn't say anything, feeling the soft brushes tickle his face. The transformation was already starting to take shape, and as the minutes passed, he could hardly recognize the person in the mirror. Claire stepped in to apply the finishing touches, blush, highlighter, and a bold red lipstick. Perfect, she said, stepping back to admire their handiwork. Now for the hair. They pulled out a long, brunette wig from Claire's closet, one she'd worn for Halloween the previous year, and placed it carefully over Matten's head. The girls adjusted it, making sure it sat perfectly, and then stepped back to take in the full effect. Wow, Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with surprise. Matten turned to the mirror, and for the first time, he saw her. Maya, as they decided to call her. A young woman with striking features, big brown eyes, and soft, flowing hair looked back at him. His masculine features had all but disappeared under the layers of makeup and the wig, leaving behind a version of himself that was entirely foreign but undeniably beautiful. I look like a girl, Matten said softly, still trying to wrap his head around the transformation. Not just a girl, a stunning girl. Claire corrected him, clapping her hands in excitement. You look amazing. The girls couldn't stop gushing over how convincing his transformation was, taking pictures only for themselves, they assured him, and posing with him like he was one of their own. Matten found himself surprisingly comfortable, enjoying the compliments and attention. He even started to loosen up, laughing along with the girls as they made jokes and tried different poses in the mirror. Okay, you've had your fun, Matten finally said, standing up and brushing his hands over the skirt of the dress Claire had found for him. I think that's enough for today. But before he could head to the bathroom to change back, Claire stopped him. Wait, we should take this a step further. Matten raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? I mean, Claire said, her eyes gleaming with excitement, we should go out. Just for a little bit. We can walk around the park or something, and no one will know it's you. Matten froze. Go out? Dressed like this? Why not? Sarah added. You look amazing. It'll be fun. He hesitated again, unsure of what to do. But the girls had a way of convincing him that made it hard to say no. After a few more minutes of playful persuasion, Matten found himself reluctantly agreeing.
Fine.
But just for a quick walk around the park, and that's it, he said, hoping he wouldn't regret this decision. The girls cheered again, and within minutes, they were out the door, heading toward the nearby park. It was a warm, breezy afternoon, and as they walked down the sidewalk, Matten couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and anxiety. He was hyper-aware of his surroundings, worried that someone might recognize him, but at the same time, he couldn't deny the thrill of it all. As they strolled through the park, the girls chatted and laughed like everything was normal. To Matten's surprise, no one gave him any strange looks or seemed to suspect that anything was out of the ordinary. He was just another girl walking with her friends. See? Emily said, nudging him playfully. No one even notices. You're totally passing. Matten smiled, feeling a small sense of relief. Maybe this wasn't so bad after all. But just as they were about to head back, things took an unexpected turn. A group of girls from their college, 3 of them, to be exact, spotted them and waved, heading over. Oh no, Matten whispered, his heart racing. They're going to know. Relax, Claire whispered back. Just act natural. They won't suspect a thing. The 3 girls approached, smiling and greeting Claire, Sarah, and Emily like old friends. Matten stood there awkwardly, trying his best to look inconspicuous. Hey, who's your friend? One of the girls, Jess, asked, her eyes darting to Matten. This is Maya, Emily said smoothly, stepping in. She's Sarah's cousin from out of town. Jess smiled warmly at Matten. Nice to meet you, Maya. I love your dress. Teach thanks, Matten stammered, his voice pitched slightly higher than usual. The girls didn't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary and continued chatting with Claire and the others. But just as Matten started to relax again, Jess's eyes lingered on him a little too long. You know, she said slowly, tilting her head, you look really familiar. Have we met before? Matten's heart skipped a beat. No, I don't think so, he said, trying to keep his voice steady. Jess narrowed her eyes, studying him for a moment longer before her face broke into a smile. Well, it's great to meet you, Maya. We should all hang out sometime. Definitely. Sarah said quickly, ushering Matten and the others away before any more questions could be asked. As they walked away from the group, Matten let out a long breath of relief. That had been way too close. See? Claire said with a grin. I told you no one suspects a thing. Matten shook his head, feeling his heart finally start to slow down. This whole experience had been a whirlwind, but somehow, he'd managed to get through it without being caught. But just as they were about to leave the park, they heard voices calling after them. Wait! Maya, wait up! Matten turned around, his stomach sinking. It was Jess and her friends again, hurrying toward them. What's up? Claire asked, trying to sound casual. Jess looked at Matten, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. We were talking, and we have this crazy idea. We're having a girls' night out tonight, and we thought, why not invite Maya? Matten's eyes widened. What? No, I don't think. Oh, come on, Jess interrupted, grabbing his hand excitedly. It'll be so much fun. We can do your hair and makeup, and we'll all get dressed up and hit the town. It's going to be amazing. Before Matten could protest, Claire, Sarah, and Emily jumped in. You should totally do it, Maya, Emily said, winking at him. Yeah, it'll be a blast, Sarah added, a mischievous smile on her face. Matten felt a sinking feeling in his chest. This was not what he'd signed up for. But with everyone looking at him expectantly, cheering him on, how could he possibly say no? Okay, he said quietly, feeling like he was being swept away by a wave he couldn't control. The girls erupted into cheers once again, and before Matten knew it, they were planning the night ahead, outfits, makeup, and even a dinner reservation. As they walked back toward Claire's house to get ready, Matten couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and dread. What had started as a harmless game had spiraled into something much bigger. He was about to go on a girls' night out, fully feminized, with people who had no idea who he really was. And as the night unfolded, he would soon realize that the unexpected turn his life had taken was only just beginning. Back at Claire's house, the preparations began in earnest. The three girls were in high spirits, buzzing with excitement as they pulled out outfits, shoes, and accessories. They wanted to make sure that Maya looked absolutely perfect for her first night out as one of the girls. Matten sat on the edge of Claire's bed, still in a daze, trying to process everything that was happening. He glanced at the dress they'd chosen for him, a sleek, form-fitting black number with delicate lace detailing. It was a far cry from anything he'd ever imagined himself wearing, but at this point, he felt like he was too deep into this to back out now. "You're going to look so hot in this," Sarah said, holding the dress up to Matten with a grin. "Trust me, all eyes will be on you tonight." Matten groaned inwardly. That was exactly what he didn't want, but it seemed like he had no choice. After what felt like hours of getting dressed, doing makeup, and styling hair, Matten finally looked at himself in the mirror. The transformation was even more striking than before. Maya wasn't just a pretty girl. She was stunning. The black dress hugged his slim figure perfectly, and the high heels gave him an extra boost of confidence and height. His makeup was flawless, and the wig looked so real that even he couldn't tell it wasn't his natural hair. "Wow," he whispered, turning from side to side, admiring the stranger in the mirror. "You look amazing," Emily said, beaming with pride. "I told you this would be fun." Matten nodded slowly, still feeling a bit overwhelmed by it all. Fun wasn't quite the word he'd used to describe this, but he had to admit, there was something strangely exhilarating about it. "All right, ladies, are we ready to go?" Claire called out, grabbing her purse. The girls cheered in unison, and before Matten could change his mind, they were out the door and heading into the night. As they arrived at the restaurant, Matten's nerves returned full force. He was about to walk into a crowded place, fully feminized, and act like everything was normal. The idea of being around so many people who might see through his disguise made his stomach churn. But the girls were there to support him, and as they walked into the restaurant together, arm in arm, he realized that they had his back. Throughout dinner, Matten played the part of Maya flawlessly. He laughed at the right moments, engaged in conversation, and even managed to maintain his higher-pitched voice without slipping up. It was all going well until it wasn't. Halfway through dinner, Jess's friend, Amber, leaned in and said, "You know, Maya, you've been really quiet tonight. Is everything okay?" Matten froze, unsure of how to respond. He hadn't expected to be put on the spot like this. Yeah, he said awkwardly. "I'm just not used to this kind of thing." Amber smiled sympathetically. "I get it. First girls' night out, huh? Well, don't worry. We'll make sure you have the time of your life." Matten forced a smile, feeling like he was balancing on a tightrope. The longer the night went on, the more he felt like he was living a double life. One as Matten, the quiet guy, and one as Maya, the stunning girl who blended in perfectly with her friends. As the night wore on and they made their way to a nearby bar, Matten realized something else. The girls were treating him differently. There was a level of camaraderie and closeness that he hadn't experienced before, as if they'd accepted him as one of their own. It was strange, but in a way, it was also liberating. But just as he was starting to feel comfortable, things took another unexpected turn. At the bar, a group of guys approached them, clearly interested in getting to know the girls better. One of them, a tall guy with a charming smile, zeroed in on Matten, or rather, Maya. "Hey," the guy said, flashing a grin. "You're new around here, aren't you? I haven't seen you before." Matten's heart raced. Yeah, I'm just visiting," he said quickly, hoping to deflect any further questions. But the guy wasn't deterred. He leaned in closer, his smile growing wider. "Well, welcome to town. Can I buy you a drink?" Matten's stomach churned. This was too much. He was in way over his head now. Before he could respond, Sarah jumped in, grabbing his arm. "Actually, we were just about to leave," she said, smiling sweetly at the guy. "But thanks for the offer." The guy looked disappointed, but shrugged it off. "All right, maybe next time," he said with a wink before walking away. As soon as he was gone, Matten let out a long breath of relief. "Thanks," he whispered to Sarah. "No problem," she said with a grin. "But hey, at least now you know you're so good at this that even guys are falling for you." Matten groaned, feeling a mix of embarrassment and confusion. He wasn't sure how to feel about that. By the end of the night, As they finally headed back to Claire's house, Matten was exhausted, both physically and emotionally. The night had been a roller coaster of emotions, from anxiety to excitement to sheer terror. But as he stood in front of the mirror once again, removing his makeup and taking off the wig, he realized something else. He'd done it. He'd gone out in public, fully feminized, and no one had suspected a thing. In fact, he'd even enjoyed it, at least parts of it. As the girls hugged him goodnight and thanked him for being such a good sport, Matten couldn't help but smile. Maybe this wasn't the last time Maya would make an appearance. After all, life had a funny way of taking unexpected turns. Thank you so much for watching till now. It means the world to have you here. This community is all about empowering each other and celebrating the incredible journeys of everyone on their path to living authentically. If you're ever feeling lost or alone, remember you have a whole family here for you. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button. And let's keep inspiring each other, sending you all the love and strength in the world. Until next time, live your life by your rules.